Wow, look at this rain.
Federation log for the winter solstice of 2008. In a few days I'll be flying out of Alice Springs again to the Federation headquarters in Melbourne. The 2012 quickening is clearly upon us, as the multitude of tasks surrounding Project Blue Star seem to heighten exponentially, along with the rush of changes occurring around the planet. News has just come in proclaiming that the global refugee levels have hit an all-time record. I'd like to know the details of this figure, such as why are so many people leaving their homes and communities, as well as the cities, in such unprecedented numbers. The Mississippi River in the US has just burst its banks, adding yet another environmental hiccup to the itineraries of those people in denial of climate change. The race for control on oil seems to intensify. Whether it be mostly due to greed, the oil predicament on Earth merely highlights the inability of the human race to adopt new ways to drive our economy. What's even crazier is that we have all the energy solutions in our possession. Maybe the truth about the impending weather extremes is far too confronting and daunting for most people to embrace. The reality of abrupt change to anyone's life is naturally feared, but change itself can be so deeply feared that many people are more willing to ignore and even overlook the most obvious threats confronting them. And so, the extreme, unabated weather will continue to intensify until the time for preparation is over. The degree of climate change is proportionate to human migration. Those people that can migrate before conditions worsen are in some way lucky, but I can't help but feel for the many who are far too absorbed and preoccupied in the day-to-day struggle to survive, such as those people living in Africa, South America or Asia, where 2 billion people are living off less than $2 per day. Then there are those so-called privileged people in the Western world who live to the contrary. These people seem hell-bent on limitless growth and prosperity. The material addiction has swept them into a slumbersome trance, a self-serving whirlpool of things to buy and things to own. And let's not forget the many titles to claim, such as Honourable or His Holiness. Whatever, the bubble will soon burst. But focus on the human meltdown I won't. The struggle and the chaos that will continue to occur worldwide amidst this time of great change is purely symptomatic of a human society which has chosen largely not to budge. But there are many people who have taken action and opted to improve their lives, to change for the better, and as a consequence, there is much to look forward to: a new Earth. There's been some serious brainstorming required on our family's next revamp of the website. The major categories we've designed are literally the footsteps we've taken in dealing with the changes occurring on the planet. It's now time to help the people help themselves, and this implies that we focus on communications, from flash presentations, calendars, search directories and public forums. The site will continue to improve as an informational resource and a motivating pit stop to make sure we all get some added traction to this campaign agenda. On the Earth Village development front, we've begun attaching the new circular dome hubs to replace the pin system. This will take a few weeks, and soon Dad will have to get back to Melbourne to apply the compressed wheat insulation medium. There's flooring to work on, as well as the energy options, which could entail independent solar and wind configurations to each dome or shelter, or otherwise one combined system. We've often found that getting reliable feedback from people in the renewable energy industry can be challenging. Just like all industries, the agenda to protect the bottom line at all cost severely stifles the effectiveness of organisations to help the community. Nevertheless, we'll keep ploughing, because we've found many superstars amidst our Blue Star journey, and they are just the people who are fit and able to take on the world. The winter solstice in the southern hemisphere signifies the shortest day and the longest night. The sun rises at its furthest point south before slowly trekking back to its due east point and then heading north. It was these days which played such a significant role in the lives of the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Hopi, the Aztecs, the Dogon, the Pagan and the Celtic people. The movement of the earth around the sun and the sun around our central sun in the Milky Way was central to all cycles on earth. The celestial movements are the basis to fertility and survival, and are also the fundamental reason why our ancients lived so productively for such enormous periods of time. Another wonderful factor in this time we live in is the merge between science and metaphysics. It wasn't all that long ago when philosophy, mathematics, geometry and religion shared the same house. In fact, most of the revelations that we base our world on today came from people who comfortably explored the understandings that our Earth is simply a microcosm to the greater macrocosm of the universe. Today, this understanding is slowly being grasped in the field of astrobiology, which appreciates the basic notion that Earth, as well as the cosmos, share an equal diversity in species and organisms in a myriad of different forms and dimensions. That's what makes this period on Earth so exciting. We are coming to realise that we are one of many, and far from alone in this universe.
Welcome to Earth Simulation. Enjoy the ride.
We're right along the backtrack, watching all aristocrats scamming up their many ways to make a buck and go away. The world and all its common, that the life you lead, the human rent disintegrates into a race. The more, the better today. Hey! So stand around the businessman searching for the leg of ham and paying only big bucks just to do the big strut and wave about his houseboat, singing rhymes and push the popo away. Today. Today